live, uncut, unedited, tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black. All right, all right, all right, Mark. I just need you to probably slide that way or come
Slide
this
which
way.
way?
I think it's go that way first. Let's see if I can see
This
you.
way?
Yeah. Or man, come toward me then. Come toward me and just yeah. I see everybody but you, Mark.
You see me now?
I got to get the main man in. I see you now. You got to come up. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
there we
Okay.
go.
All right. I want to get you in there a little bit more. Come on, just a little bit.
All right.
I ain't gonna
Wide
get you.
frame.
That's good. Now that's right there.
All
Right
right.
there. Right there. All right, people. We got a special program here today. I'm here with Teamwork Inglewood as a navigator. My name is Martin G. Johnson. I got some special guests in the house. I got my boss man, Mark Mitchell. All right. And I got Miss Burnett, right?
Yes, yes.
And your name?
Kenya.
And she's a Teamwork Inglewood
I
as
am.
well.
Okay.
So today it's going to be, the topic's going to be early childhood enrollment, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So this will help some of the young parents out there. So if you're a young parent, I need you to listen up. If you're a parent, I need you to listen. Grandparent, a foster parent, a godparent, or you're acting parent right now. I need you to listen up because we get ready to get started. All right, who's going to open it up for us?
Well, we're going to ask Ms. Burnett to introduce herself and what
Okay.
her position is.
Right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarathel Burgess Burnett. I am the Deputy Commissioner with Department of Family and Support Services. I'm over the Children's Services Division, and we are responsible for early learning programs across the city of Chicago, working with children from birth through 5, transitioning off to kindergarten, and we also support programs for prenatal moms and doula.
Okay, perfect.
Sounds good. And I am Kenya. I am the early childhood learning outreach specialist. So my job is to definitely encourage the parents of Inglewood to enroll their little ones in early learning program and teach them about the importance of why their little ones should be enrolled.
Okay.
Hey, you already know who I am. I'm Mark Mitchell, Associate Director, Director of Reentry Services for Teamwork Inglewood. But there's one thing you don't know about me is I am a board member for the City of Chicago Urban Opportunity, which oversees Head Start and Early Head Start. So today we're going to talk about why is it important that you get your kids an early Head Start. Why is that, Sharetta?
It's absolutely important. I think one of the things that people think about, it's children when they need to start, it's at first grade or kindergarten. What we say is that's really a little late, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that every child is on track to be successful in kindergarten. When we're looking at data, we're looking at whether or not children are transitioning off. Are they kindergarten ready? Kindergarten ready meaning that they have social emotional skills, that they can persist, they are able to do activities independently on their own. Those aren't just things that just happen for young children. You have to encourage those skills. And so that's a vital importance of early learning, is to have children in care so that they are working with teachers who are trained to make sure that they're working on brain development. What we know, our youngest babies, that brain is still developing when they enroll in program. We enroll as early as 6 weeks. Their
Oh, wow.
brain is still developing.
6 weeks.
6 weeks old.
Wow.
Yes.
What we teach a 6-week old?
Yeah.
We're gonna teach them how to be loved.
Okay. I have a question.
You
Yes,
do?
go right
Yeah,
ahead.
I have a question. So what's the importance? What is the difference just taking your child to a babysitter or daycare opposed to early childhood?
Well, for us, it's a big difference, because what you want to know is that that individual who's there understands the developmental phases of a child,
Mhm.
so that they can encourage that growth and development. And if you don't have that skill set, yes, you can be there and you can keep that baby safe, but you won't be able to necessarily work with them to grow and develop the way they need to. Language, many of us think language is normal. Our brains are developed, but we have to be in concert with people who are speaking to us, speaking language, hearing language. That's one of the things that is really vitally important in early learning, is that that baby is hearing it, then they're actually mimicking it, and then they're using it. And it's over time that that happens, and it has to be encouraged.
Okay. Wow.
And I would like to piggyback and just encourage the parents. We know that it is a lot of factors out there, reasons why you say, well, I just want my child to be homeschooled by auntie, by, uncle, by brother. We understand that, but you can also allow them to go half day. Now it's half day programs, and you can still utilize the assistance for childcare, but even enrolling them half day will be a great service for that little one.
I'm still stuck on 6-week curriculum. You know?
That got me.
Right, the
I
curriculum,
just want you to
right?
think about it like this.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that we know is we've got, individuals out there who's got to go to work or school. They
Mhm.
want their babies to be somewhere.
Okay.
If we put 6 weeks old in a room with other 6-week olds, they're going to learn from each other, right? They're going to
Okay.
play together, learn together. But all of the tools in that classroom are set up to really begin brain development. Math starts very early. For
Okay.
example, if you put a baby in a classroom and you give them blocks and they begin to stack blocks, that's math. But we
Okay.
don't think about it that way because we think math is pen and pencil.
Mhm.
But a lot of those skill sets can be developed really, really early if we have that opportunity to have babies and children in care. And so
Okay.
that's why I say it's so important, because we want to have children start off kindergarten ready to succeed. We know that trajectory to third grade is really contingent on how they start off with kindergarten and
The
whether or
third
not they're going to
grade.
be successful with third grade.
Yeah, that brings me back to when I was had my daughter in school, and she was in 2nd grade, and I used to drop her off at the school every morning. I said the teacher was late. I couldn't figure it out. I'm not gonna name the school, but when she got in 3rd grade, the 3rd grade teacher was new, and she called me and she said, "Your daughter not gonna pass 3rd grade." I said, "What? How can you say that? She's been here only a week." See, she wasn't prepared. And I had to spend a whole lot of money at that point to get a tutor. So I understand what you mean when you say it's important just to get her caught up. So them first years are very important. But I didn't know them first couple of years was that important.
They are. They are. A lot of the babies, if they are not talked to, there's no such thing as baby talk in our world. So
Okay.
it's talking. You talk to that baby like you want that baby someday to be able to talk to you.
So you saying that got me a go baby?
No,
That's
no,
not no.
No, is that how we want the baby to talk?
I
No.
guess not. But why people keep doing that?
Now,
Because they haven't. Because again, if you haven't learned
Mm-mm.
the development and what the importance is of speaking language to children, then what we have done in our community, and I mean, I know I had it too. When I had my first child, it was my grandmother did the exact same thing. Who's already good? And and I was early learning at that point, and we started talking about it. And so,
Okay.
now,
Yeah,
I have another
important.
question too as well. Now,
Yeah. Mhm.
are you guys educated staff or as a professional? I want to ask that question too. What's
It's grown over time, and I'm
Okay.
really happy to say that we have an educated professional staff in early learning programs.
Okay.
Teachers with bachelor's degrees, associate degrees, master's degrees. They have done exactly what they needed to do and what they wanted to do. They want to succeed in this field. They want to be able to provide the best care they possibly can. And with that comes them learning about it as well. And so,
Okay.
yes, it is a professional educated field.
It is an educated field, and me being a retired high school educator,
Okay.
have taught, pre-K all the way to high school, and I'm a licensed paraprofessional. I just would like the parents to know that it is adults and educators fighting for your children,
Absolutely.
fighting for education each and every day, making sure that your little ones have quality education and educators being there for your little ones. Especially with the changes in administration, I just want to really encourage all parents that can hear me right now. We want to break that cycle. We want to bridge that gap. We want to be that bridge that you need. You can always stop by Teamwork Inglewood. We're located at 815 West 63rd Street on the 2nd floor. You can leave your information and someone will assist you with making sure you get your little one enrolled in a quality.
She act like she closing though.
She's
closing. We just getting started.
We say it a lot of times because we want people to know.
Yeah, because
So-
people constantly coming in and leaving. Yeah.
But I want to go back to your
Yeah.
question, though.
Okay.
And I want to dispel that belief, because we have teachers who are, as I said, educated professionals
Right.
in our programs. What people believe, though, is that hasn't happened. And I want to say, sitting here today, to whomever is listening, that the individuals in those classrooms who are teaching your children are educated professionals. They are committed to this field. They have gotten degrees. They are trained. They're educated. They have the skill sets necessary to really develop our young children and our young children's minds. if we look at Chicago public schools, and you said you taught, preschool for all, those teachers are required to have a bachelor's degree with a professional educator license. Same thing in community-based organizations. Those teachers are required to have the exact same credential and the same license in order to be in those programs. And so I just want parents, if they're thinking about early learning, to understand, that the field has grown a long way from, what many people have understood it to be. But at the end of the day, it is a group of trained, committed professionals out there ready at the door of these early learning programs, ready to serve these babies.
Okay, wonderful.
So the curriculum for, say, a 6-month-old.
Okay.
What would
That's a
that
good one. I want to hear this.
We use what's called creative curriculum, and it is an infant, toddler, all the way through. We have the curriculum that goes through children age 5.
Okay.
And that curriculum helps that educator understand growth and development of that young child and what kinds of activities to do with that child. And so you're looking at the child. For example, I mentioned blocks before. If the child, first of all, just takes the blocks and plays with the blocks, you're trying to get the child to manipulate the blocks. And the curriculum helps the teacher understand how to do that with the young child. Different activities, different tasks, different things that you're going to do. Yes, you're going to hold and love, because attachment is the first thing you're going to do with the young baby, is attach that baby, meaning that baby gets comfortable and understands that they have a trusted person right there with them. Once that's done, that baby is malleable. Their brain is there and it's ready to receive. And then you got plenty of activities that you can do. They're on the floor. The floor is their environment. That's where they learn. But you got to have the things down there for them to manipulate and play with. And they will on their own begin to learn and develop, encouraged by their teachers.
So the whole curriculum is based on them learning.
The curriculum is based on their learning. Yes.
Okay, because the one thing I know, I had sent the same daughter through one of them, corner daycare.
Yeah.
Right. And all they did was a lot of playing.
Right. But you see, that's what I was thinking in my mind
But
too.
children learn through play.
Right.
Okay.
That's the thing that I think a lot of people miss, is play is their work.
Mhm.
And I want you to think about it that way. If I'm playing and I'm focused on play, I am learning.
Okay.
And I'm going to take that activity. You start here, and I'm going to help you grow. We're going to scaffold your learning, which means I saw you do one thing, I'm going to add something else to it. Saw you do something else, I'm going to add something else to it.
Okay.
So that you continue to grow and develop. But children learn through play. And that's why there are toys in classrooms. That's why there are puzzles in classrooms. That's where there's certain areas in classrooms for children to go in and play in, for example, housekeeping, so that they can relate life to what they're doing in that classroom.
Okay.
Because again, everything that they do is a piece of that development in their brain to help them be able to receive that next piece that they're going to be introduced to.
So I know a lot of people think Barney or Big Bird can teach them that, right?
Well, I know we have children who, for years, and I'm not going to say anything about any of those models that are out there,
Okay.
because again, those songs, repetition,
Mhm.
and repetition is key at learning.
Uh-huh.
So you can't beat them up for it.
Right.
There's
Okay.
a plus to it.
There's a plus to it. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
And now it is tons of resources
Absolutely.
and resource providers that come into education facilities
Okay.
and assist with different learning techniques. So I know a lot of times, parents, they come like, well, my child learns a little bit different than the next child. No, I've known some things. We had one parent who reached out to us just last week. Her aunt watches the baby, and her aunt is deaf.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
wow.
she now was noticing her little daughter is now mimicking what she sees because she's
Absolutely.
there.
Right.
And she reached out to us and said, no, my daughter needs to immediately get now into an early education location.
Which makes
so we
sense.
assisted her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
You know, one of the other things I've noticed in them, because I'm old, is that the autism.
Yes.
That was my next
Was,
question.
not,
though.
was it your question?
Yeah.
Go on,
Okay.
answer. Then go on and answer your question.
My question now: how do you guys identify that when you have a child and you see that the child is not on pace or schedule where he should be for her particular his or her age?
That wasn't my question.
But well,
my
but this
I
is
had a different question.
well, okay.
I want to know,
Yeah.
is there a rise in what you're talking
Right.
about?
I will say that there's a rise in autism and other behavioral issues in young children. And we can't blame everything on COVID, but what I will say is during COVID, when children were isolated and they did not have that peer-to-peer, they didn't have that relational development going on, that we did see children when they returned back into care, that they had difficulties in those classrooms. as a result of it, because children need that kind of interaction, that they need that engagement. And we took that away from our young children for a couple of years. And so those children, trying to put them in front of a computer and learn in front of a computer isn't what children need. Children need people. They need that human interaction and engagement. And so we have seen some increases in behaviors in children over time. As far as autism, yes, there's data out there talking about there's rises in autism, and relating it to your question and how are we identifying it. That's the role of agencies, and they have staff that have the techniques and skills in working around what's called disability services. And then we also have other providers that come in and do observations. And so it's working with the parent, because this baby belongs to mom, grandmom, or whomever is that
Custody.
that person in custody of that child, to make sure that they understand that we see something and we want to talk to you about what it is that we see. But we are only going to do that after we've been able to observe and see what that different, I'm going to use your word, what's going on different with that child, before we start talking about identifying that child. Because it may be that child is still struggling, doesn't necessarily mean that they need to get an IEP. But for those who need an IEP, we want to definitely make sure.
What is an IEP?
An individual education plan.
What does that exactly mean?
It's set up in this, whatever is going on with that child. It could be speech, could be language, could be behavior, whatever that is. That IEP will have all of the different kinds of things that child needs, that is set up for that child. It could be specific services, support individuals who are going to come in and provide services for that child. Child may leave one of the community-based organizations and go to CPS for part of the day for services. And so it's a well-rounded system that's developed once we know that a child has an individual education plan. Parent has to understand what's in that plan, because if there's something mom can do at home to encourage, we want her to understand that. If the child's in a CBO, we want those teachers to understand what it is so that they're encouraging it. And then if the child is leaving half a day, everybody's in partnership, working to make sure that we can help that child gain and develop.
And then piggybacking and making sure that that student has an advocate right next to them, coaching them on, like a paraprofessional.
Absolutely.
What does that mean exactly? Coaching them on?
Hey, that person that gives them that encouragement that they need, keeps them on track, keeps them in line, maybe acts as a tutor inside of the classroom, or sometimes they exit and go to another location with that person.
Okay.
Now, question.
Yes.
Now, I heard you mention about computers. Now, I've seen little babies holler, cry, and mom hand the tablet. They just quiet. So, just want you to elaborate a little bit on that.
So, and I would not say that children can't be in front of any technology.
Okay.
It's the amount of time that we talk about.
Okay.
And it has to be not the sole provider of care. Okay. We want children, if they are on it, parents need to know what they're looking at. It needs to be parent protected, meaning that I know what my child is on. But then you think about how much time that child should be on it, and it really should be limited. It shouldn't be that this is something that they're doing all day. And I'll give you an example. I was talking to a mom because she works, dad was keeping the child at home, but in order for him to make it through, child was constantly in front of the tablet. And so we were out and I saw it and I asked him the question. And for him, it was like, but look at him, he's quiet. I said, yes, he's quiet. I said, so where's his language development?
That's correct.
Because that computer's not talking back to him, right? You want an adult, a human, a sibling, a sister, a paraprofessional, someone to be interacting with that baby at least part of the time. It cannot be the sole authority over that child's language development. And that's what we're concerned about in early learning.
Mark, didn't we have a conversation about this? How our young people don't communicate. They just communicate through the computer. They don't have that communication skills,
That social skill. And it's critical, because once a child gets into public school, for example, they're not going to take that tablet in that classroom, right? They are not going to be that. They may get some of their work done on a computer in a classroom, but it is not going to be 100% of the time. And that child has to be able to sit there persist, engage, talk, respond, all of those things that are necessary, that we have a responsibility to work with our children on.
Because I see a lot of children, they play video games, they have the tablet, they don't talk. It's like they're antisociable. They don't want to sit at the table eat no more. They want to take the plate in the room and in video games. I see a lot of this.
Yeah, they
and,
do.
and Martin, I even met with medical professionals,
Mhm.
and they have even said that they see the difference between little ones who are in preschool than the ones who are not. The way they act in the doctor's office, being withdrawn,
Mm.
can't even, focus on what the doctor is saying to them.
Mm.
It's just, it's our responsibility, parents,
It-
to make sure that our children are ready.
It's absolutely our responsibility is to make sure that these opportunities are afforded
Yes.
families, that the parents are taking the opportunity, because again, what we want is for our children to get that head start.
Correct.
And that's what Head Start is all about. To your question earlier, it's about making sure that children are on task and on target for success, and wrapping your arms around that child and providing a health, safe environment, making sure that they're getting healthy meals, making sure that they're getting that time to rest, because children need to rest, right? They need to be able to have all the toys and materials and all of those kinds of things that they can put their hands on. They can feel what it is. They are also introduced to what life is, because we bring in different kinds of activities in the classroom to connect what's going on in the world to what's going on in learning. Without that, to your point, we see that doctors say that, but also when children show up at kindergarten, many of the kindergarten teachers also say they can tell the difference in the children who arrive in their kindergarten classroom who've had a preschool experience and those who have not.
Mm. Wow. I mean, that's a hard job. I mean, because the
Yeah.
tablet has become the new babysitter now.
It is.
Believe
It's the
me.
new babysitter.
I've seen them when you take it from them, they
Yeah.
still look at their hand.
Yeah.
Like something, I'm just saying, I've seen that. So why are they looking at their hand?
Oh,
I mean, and that's addictive. Those
It's
things.
very
are.
addictive.
it's addictive to the adults. It's addictive to children. I mean, I've been in places where I could, and I'm a grandmother. I got 5 grandsons, and so I believe me, this has been a personal battle
Okay.
in my family. But they all understand where
Okay.
Nana is coming from.
All
and
right.
That's what they call me. But anyway, when we're looking at it, and I see parents out there, they're at dinner, for example, parents on their phone and the child's on theirs, and you don't see any communication. You don't see a vocal
None.
word going on other than what do you want to eat. Once food is delivered, we're back at our technology, fork in one hand, tech in the other. What we're taking them away from is interpersonal reactions.
Social,
And so
yes.
that social piece, we're taking that away from them. How are they going to survive on a college campus? And I want us to think about, we want that trajectory to continue. And how are they going to survive with peers when they don't know how to communicate? It's not going to work. And so we have a lot of work to do to move children from technology into making sure that they're working on those social emotional skills.
Because a lot of parents think it's cute. Oh, my son, my daughter know how to use the computer, the tablet. They call me, they text me. I had a bad experience with a teenage daughter. We was at a baby shower, and she texted me, "Dad, could you give me $10?" I'm like, you just walk over me. And I was like, oh my God.
But that's the world we're living in.
Yeah.
It is where it is. And, there's social media, all of those things are a part of their life. What we have to do is set boundaries. And I think that's our role and responsibility. In our classrooms, it is not the prominent piece of what goes
Okay.
on every day.
So my granddaughter, she goes to early childhood learning, and then she goes to daycare after. So both of those things work together, or are they just separate?
They can work together. For example, if some of the early learning programs have before and after care. And so many of those children are there because of the extended amount of time that their parent needs them to be in care. And so they're able to use the child care assistance program, applying for that. And then they're able to have those hours paid for them to be there. And so it's really parent choice, whether you want to find a program that can do both or if you're in one program and then transitioning off. But again, even if the child is going off to a child care program after, that parent still wants to know what kind of activities the child is engaging in while there as well.
And we do know with parenting, it can be overwhelming sometimes. Oh my goodness. If it's one child on up, it can be overwhelming, but there is help out here for you. It is help out here for you. Even if you feel like, you're not getting it from that neighborhood, school that's right down the street. It is tons. And we want you to visit the website. I'm going to give this website out a few times throughout the course of this, but you can go on chicagoearlylearning.org.
Absolutely.
chicagoearlylearning.org. You use your phones a lot anyway. The little ones might even know how to go on that website, okay? Or you can actually call 312-229-1690. 312-229-1690 to assist.
Tell us what. So you're doing a push now for Inglewood, right?
Yes, we are.
And what are you pushing?
We are encouraging you to get those little ones who are not currently enrolled, who are being taken care of from family, friends, and neighbors. We want to encourage you to go ahead on and enroll them in early learning programs in Inglewood. We have a magnitude of early learning opportunities, community-based organizations, and even CPS schools that are now accepting students.
So how does a person go about in Inglewood getting go on the website you just mentioned?
Yes, you're going to go on the website, chicagoearlylearning.org. You can give us a call at Teamwork Inglewood at 773-488-6600. Ask for the early learning specialist. They'll leave a message, and then I'll give you a call back.
Okay.
And so I want to just talk a little bit about the website. When we built the website, it really was about making sure parents had access. And so going on to chicagoearlylearning.org allows a parent to go on there, and there's a tab, and when you go on that front page, it says locations. Just click on locations, and you can put in an address of a child care center or early learning center. If you know the address, you can put the name of it in there. You can put in the neighborhood. You can say Inglewood. If you type in Inglewood, all of the programs in Inglewood that's in that system is going to open up for you.
Okay.
And it gives you the information about that program, including its address, its phone number, contact name, etc. If you are not in the system, and if you've not applied for early learning, the early learning application opened April 8th. What we want is every parent who's thinking about putting their child in care to go on to chicagoearlylearning.org, and there's a button right there and it says apply. Click on that button and do your application. You get to select 5 different programs when you're on there. That's why I say locate, go do some searching if you don't know which ones, but then you get to choose 5 opportunities for your child based on age. And once you do that, that organization will get that information from the system so that they can help you get your child enrolled as well.
I think we talked everything about except cost. Now let's get into that. Because a lot of parents probably like, okay, Martin, it sounds good. And what is it going to cost me?
So the cost is incurred really in these programs, as I mentioned before, if the parent needs before or after care.
Okay.
That's where the child care assistance program kicks in. Preschool for All is free. Head Start is free.
Okay.
And so if I'm working and I need more hours than that, then I can apply for the child care assistance program. Many of the agencies can help parents do that as well, so that they are able to drop the baby off early in the morning. Some of them are open as early as 6 in the morning, closing at 6 in the evening. And so those opportunities are afforded working parents and parents who are in school.
Oh, okay. Only, right?
Well, I'm sorry?
Only. I mean, no, if you can't be sitting at home, not doing anything, right?
Well, some of the organizations, if you are eligible for Head Start, if you're eligible for Preschool for All, and you work that with the organization, then I want parents to do 2 things. I want them to get their child in care, and then we want to set some goals for them next.
Okay, perfect.
For the parent.
For the parents. Okay.
All right.
All right. Wow.
Are y'all hiring right now? Do you know if anyone's hiring?
We are hiring in early learning. We do have, most of my agencies right now have vacancies. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How would they find those vacancies?
Well, the easiest way to find vacancies, there's 2 ways. You can go to an organization that's in your community that you think you are interested in. You can go in there and talk to them and say, this is what I'm looking for. On the website, chicagoearlylearning.org, there's also a tab on there. And there's some information on there about scholarship, for example, to help parents and staff to go ahead and get funding so that they can get credentials and degrees, because we want people to think about this as a future as well. And so that's also on that same website.
It's wonderful.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
Now, I noticed you said early childhood pushing that. So how many people you guys are expecting? What's your projection? What do you know?
What we want is every child to find a program.
Okay.
What we know is, I'm not going to tell you that we've got 24,000 seats in this community, but around Chicago, there's early learning programs out there. Again, a parent can apply now for program year starting in August, September. You can
Okay.
make plans for that. Get your life in order over the summer so that your child can start the program. And that application will allow parents to be able to do that so that they can think about where they want to go.
And in Inglewood, if someone say they don't know how to do the application, they just can't figure it out. Are you
Yes.
that person?
If you are not tech savvy, we have your back. You're going to come on to Teamwork Inglewood, 815 West 63rd Street. You're going to contact me, myself personally. My name is Kenya Reeves. You can email me at kreeves@teamworkinglewood.org. You could come, you can leave a message, and we'll get back with
You'll be
you.
willing to help people that don't live in Inglewood, wouldn't you?
I will.
That-
Yes,
that's a
of
fact. You'll take the
course.
whole city on, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But
Hey.
Ms. Burnett, but if there are people, like she said, aren't tech savvy, what do we do?
They can make a phone call. They can go to that phone number that's on there as well, the 312 number that she mentioned before, 312-229-1690. That's the early learning hotline. We've got individuals on those phones all day answering calls of parents. Sometimes it's a parent who went on and tried to do their application, stumbled. That's fine. Call them. They can help you. I want to change the program. I went in and I selected this program, changed my mind. Call them. They can help you. You're having problems just trying to figure it out. Call them. They will help you. We also have individuals out and about in communities as well. We have Kofi, for example, is an organization that are walking around in communities, and they have tablets with them to help parents actually enroll as well. And so when we were talking about in our office about some of the community areas we wanted to target, Inglewood is one of those that we're targeting as well, supporting you and getting the information out there to parents in your community to get them enrolled.
And I just want to say, and you in Inglewood, you're definitely going to see flyers and all of the businesses and door hangers at your door. So take a look at it, reach out to us, and we are here to assist.
So, Commissioner, what is the one thing you want people listening to know today?
I just want parents and individuals who are listening the importance of early learning. Let's give every child in our community the best start they can possibly get them into a quality environment where they are learning. That's what's important, and that's what's key. Our future here for our children rests in their being able to get access to the services that we're talking about today, and that's early learning, so that they can then arrive kindergarten ready and on that trajectory to be successful in third grade.
And it starts at 6 weeks.
It starts at 6 weeks for us. We have, we start with babies as early as 6 weeks. We work with pregnant moms even before that baby is born to help her as well. So yes.
I'm on the board and I didn't know about the babies that's not
early as
born
6
yet.
Right.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
So we want to thank you two beautiful people for coming out here today and sharing with us. Before we go, Martin, we have some amnesty week going on. I have a flyer here from the city of Chicago clerk says that if they have a sticker, amnesty forgiveness. If you've never bought a sticker or didn't get a sticker or forgot to get a sticker, they're going to let that extra fee, that late fee go during the month of April. So during the month of April, if you didn't get your sticker, probably some of y'all haven't gotten them for years, right? Well, they're going to let that late fee go. What you got, Martin?
I got an amnesty week for moving traffic violation, not parking tickets now. It's April the 14th through April the 18th. 5 days collection fees waived.
Waived?
Yeah, waived. Yeah.
Waiving it all, y'all.
Right. They said full or partial payments accepted. Pay by cash, check, money order, or credit cards at these CC locations. The Daily Center, D4 Maywood, D2 Skokie, D5 Bridgeview, D3 Rolling Meadows, D6 Markham. Open at 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Well, thank you, Martin.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sharing this platform with us, Teamwork Inglewood. Thank you, Teamwork Inglewood, for using me. As always,
out there.
it's a pleasure. Thank you, Commissioner.
Deputy Commissioner.
Still a commissioner.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. so
All right.
much.
All right, people, y'all already know what it is. This is what? You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. And what?
And shame the devil. I love being black.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you. Make sure you guys share the video. If this video applies to you or someone that you know, please share the video, send it to them, And I'm going to try to post the telephone numbers up and everything and with the flyer. So you won't be calling me. But if you call me, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much. Peace out.